Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're talking about a topic that can really change your experience learning English: positive thinking. Whether you're just starting out or working on fluency, your mindset matters.
Absolutely, Jennifer. We often focus on methods and techniques, but how we approach learning emotionally and mentally is just as important. If you have the right attitude, you'll find that even the toughest grammar rule feels manageable.
That's so true. I think many learners underestimate the power of their own thoughts. Staying positive not only helps with motivation, but can actually speed up progress.
It's like when you go into something thinking, I can do this. Your brain is more receptive. On the other hand, if you approach English learning with dread or frustration, it can slow down your progress.
Before we get into the details, let's define what we mean by positive thinking. Thomas, how would you explain it?
For me, positive thinking is about seeing the glass half full, especially when you're facing challenges. It's not ignoring the difficulties, but choosing to focus on what you can do rather than what you can't.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mindset from I can't to I'll try. Instead of thinking, I'll never understand this grammar rule, you could think, this is tough, but with practice, I'll get it.
Right, and it's also about celebrating small wins. Sometimes we focus so much on what we haven't achieved that we forget how far we've come.
Oh, definitely. Even understanding a few new vocabulary words or being able to hold a short conversation is progress. Positive thinking helps you recognize those wins.
Let's talk about the connection between positive thinking and language learning. From my experience, learners who maintain a positive attitude are more consistent. They practice more regularly because they're not weighed down by self-doubt.
Yes, they're less afraid to make mistakes, too. If you're always worried about getting something wrong, you're less likely to practice speaking or writing. Positive thinkers see mistakes as part of learning, not as a failure.
Exactly. You're not going to be perfect from day one, and that's okay. The key is to learn from those mistakes and keep going.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges for English learners: embracing mistakes as a natural part of the process. With a positive mindset, mistakes become stepping stones to success. So, Thomas, how do you stay positive when you hit a tough patch in learning?
Well, one thing I always remind myself is that everyone struggles at some point. No one wakes up one day fluent in a new language. Understanding that struggle is universal helps me stay grounded.
That's a great point. I also try to set realistic goals. Instead of aiming for fluency right away, I focus on small achievements, like learning 10 new words a week.
That's a good strategy. For me, breaking things down into smaller tasks makes the whole process feel more manageable. If I focus on mastering 1/10 at a time instead of the entire grammar system, I feel more in control.
And when you achieve those small goals, it's like a boost of motivation. It keeps you going because you see the progress, even if it's gradual.
You know, confidence plays a huge role in learning English, and positive thinking is directly tied to building that confidence. When you tell yourself, I'm capable, you actually start to believe it.
Absolutely, Thomas. Confidence isn't something that magically appears. It's built through repetition and positive reinforcement. The more you focus on what you're doing right, the more confident you'll feel in your abilities.
And confidence fuels action. If you believe you can speak, you're more likely to practice speaking with others, which in turn improves your skills. It's a cycle.
I love that positive thinking leads to action, and action builds confidence. It's all connected. And once you're confident, things like pronunciation or vocabulary don't seem as daunting. One practical way to bring positive thinking into your learning routine is through affirmations. Have you tried using those, Thomas?
Oh, definitely. Positive affirmations are short, powerful statements you can say to yourself, like I am improving every day or I'm capable of learning English.
I love that. Simple phrases like I am getting better with each lesson can really change your mindset. It helps replace negative thoughts, like I'll never get this, with something empowering.
It sounds simple, but it works. Repeating these phrases regularly helps to rewire your brain to focus on progress rather than obstacles.
And the beauty of affirmations is that you can use them anywhere before a study session, during a conversation, or even while listening to this podcast.
Let's address something we all deal with: negative thoughts. No matter how positive we try to be, there are days when we feel like giving up.
Oh yes, those days when nothing seems to make sense. It's easy to feel frustrated, especially when you don't see immediate results.
Exactly. The key is to recognize those negative thoughts and not let them control your actions. One thing I do is stop and ask myself, is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back?
That's a good approach. I also think it's important to acknowledge the frustration, but not dwell on it. It's okay to feel stuck sometimes, but you don't want to let that stop you from moving forward.
Right, and that's where positive thinking comes in. Instead of focusing on the bad day, remind yourself of all the good days you've had. The journey isn't always smooth, but it's worth it.
So, Thomas, how do you stay motivated to keep learning English over the long term?
I think a big part of it is setting goals that excite me. If I'm passionate about something like watching a movie without subtitles or reading a book in English, it motivates me to keep going. And don't forget to mix things up. Learning doesn't have to be boring. Try different methods, watch YouTube videos, chat with native speakers, or listen to podcasts like this one.
Yes, and remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay patient, stay positive, and celebrate your progress along the way.
You know, Jennifer, one thing I think learners often overlook is the power of setting small, manageable goals. Everyone wants to be fluent in English overnight, but that's not realistic.
Right, and when people set these huge goals, they often end up feeling overwhelmed. The trick is to break those big goals into smaller, more achievable ones.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I want to be fluent, start by saying, I want to learn 5 new vocabulary words this week, or I'm going to have a 10-minute conversation in English today. These small victories add up over time.
I love that approach. It's about consistency. By achieving smaller goals, you build momentum, which keeps you motivated. And with every small goal you meet, your confidence grows. And it's important to reward yourself when you reach those goals, even if it's just a little celebration. That positive reinforcement helps maintain the motivation to keep going. Absolutely, progress is progress, no matter how small. Each step you take, no matter how tiny, is getting you closer to fluency. Speaking of progress, Thomas, what are some practical tips for learners to incorporate English into their daily lives?
One of my favorite tips is to change the language on your phone or social media apps to English. You're going to use these platforms anyway, so why not turn them into a learning tool?
That's such a great tip. It forces you to engage with English in a way that's natural and relevant to your life. I also recommend journaling in English. Even if it's just a few sentences a day, it helps improve your writing skills.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to practice, not to write like a novelist. Another idea is to narrate your day in English. For example, as you're cooking dinner, try to describe what you're doing in English.
I love that. You're reinforcing vocabulary related to everyday activities. Plus, it's a low-pressure way to practice speaking.
Exactly. The more you use English in real-life situations, the more natural it becomes. Another challenge for learners is using English in social settings. It's one thing to study at home, but speaking in real-world conversations can be intimidating.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard from so many learners that they freeze up in social situations because they're afraid of making mistakes.
But here's the thing: mistakes are part of the learning process. The key is to focus on communication, not perfection. Most people are more concerned with understanding you than with whether you used the correct grammar. But here's the thing: mistakes are part of the learning process. The key is to focus on communication, not perfection. Most people are more concerned with understanding you than with whether you used the correct grammar.
Exactly. And you can also prepare yourself by practicing common phrases or questions you might need in social situations. That way, you're not caught off guard.
And if you do get stuck, it's okay to ask the person you're speaking with for help. Most people are happy to clarify or repeat something if needed.
The more you put yourself out there and practice, the easier it becomes. Social situations can be great opportunities to expand your vocabulary and improve your listening skills. One of the biggest hurdles English learners face is public speaking. It can be nerve-wracking, even in your native language.
Oh, absolutely. Public speaking is a challenge, but it's also one of the most effective ways to improve your English skills. The key is to start small, maybe with a presentation to a friend or in a study group.
That's great advice. Starting small helps build your confidence. I also think it's helpful to practice in front of a mirror or record yourself. It allows you to hear how you sound and make adjustments.
Right, and the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. You'll start to notice improvements in your pronunciation and fluency over time.
And remember, nobody expects you to be perfect. Public speaking is about delivering your message clearly, not flawlessly.
Absolutely. Just focus on the message you're trying to convey, and the rest will follow with practice.
Let's talk about one of my favorite ways to learn podcasts. Thomas, how do you think podcasts can help learners improve their English?
Podcasts are a fantastic resource. They expose you to native speakers and natural conversations, which is crucial for improving your listening skills.
I completely agree. Plus, you can listen to podcasts anywhere on your commute, while exercising, or even while cooking. It's an easy way to immerse yourself in the language without feeling like you're studying.
And there are podcasts for every level of English. You can start with ones designed for beginners and gradually work your way up to more advanced content.
Exactly. Another benefit is that many podcasts provide transcripts, so you can follow along and see how the words are spelled and used in context.
That's a great point. Seeing the words while listening helps reinforce vocabulary and pronunciation. It's also a good way to learn idiomatic expressions and slang. Another technique that has been really helpful for me is shadowing. Have you tried that, Jennifer?
Oh, definitely. For those who don't know, shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker and try to mimic what they're saying in real time. It's a fantastic way to work on pronunciation and intonation. Plus, it forces you to speak at a native speaker's pace, which can be challenging but also very effective.
I recommend starting with short clips, maybe just 30 seconds to a minute, and repeating them until you can match the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation.
And it's okay if you don't get it perfect right away. The more you practice, the better you'll get at mimicking natural speech patterns. In today's world, we have access to so much technology that can help us practice English. What are some tools you use, Thomas?
I'm a big fan of language learning apps like Duolingo and Memrise. They make practicing fun and gamify the process, which keeps me motivated.
That's a great point. The gamification aspect can make learning feel less like work and more like play. I also love using YouTube to watch videos in English on topics I enjoy.
And let's not forget about virtual language exchange platforms. Apps like Tandem and HelloTalk allow you to connect with native speakers from around the world to practice speaking and writing.
Yes, speaking with real people is one of the best ways to improve. Plus, it's a great way to make new friends who share your interest in language learning.
And if you're not ready to speak with someone yet, you can use voice recognition software to practice pronunciation. It's like having a private tutor right on your phone or computer.